Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share and support the platform. Be sure to click the link below so that you can go and pick up your vehicle at CarMarshal.com. They have over 100,000 for you to choose from, and while you shop, they will negotiate for you. I'll leave the link below in the description box and the comment section, but make sure you go and click it to check it out. Support CarMarshal.com. All of your personal hygiene related products are waiting for you at AshKickin.com. Whether you need skincare product, incense, AshKickin has you covered. And best of all, if you go right now and use Paris Milan at checkout, you will receive 15% off. So make sure you go and support AshKickin.com. Hey you guys, shout out to my subby Donald that sent me this story. He requested that I report it, and I will be honoring that request. In today's story, we will be discussing Emmanuel Eboue, who was a footballer. I want to show Black women a common theme that I noticed in these situations. So if you want to hear my commentary about what exactly occurred, stay tuned for the video. If you have acne problems, hyperpigmentation, and you want a fast and effective solution, go to Simply K Inc. She has an array of skincare products, and also please go and support Black Currency, UNMASKED, all of your melanated gear. For thicker edges and supple skin, please click down below at mytriplebutter.com to purchase Keisha Rose Skincare 3-in-1 Triple Butter. Emmanuel Eboue is from Ivory Coast, and that is where his football career began. So while in Ivory Coast, he was under the ASEC Mimosas Youth Academy, and he was dating a woman named Stephanie Boade at this time. Unfortunately though, he did have to move to Belgium because his performance was increasing at a rapid rate. He was becoming more talented. So while he moved to Belgium, he initially was under the KSK Bevern team, and then he went on to become part of the Arsenal Scouts. He went on to sign a deal for £1.5 million, and he was 21 years old, so that was a big deal for him, coming from the upbringing that he had where he struggled a lot with his family. And they really appreciated the fact that he was a multifunctional player. He could play center back, he could play right back or midfield, and he was very skilled. So of course his success at the Arsenal team caused him to become a celebrity, and he got to visit the Buckingham Palace, and he started feeling himself a little bit. He actually got a chance to speak to the Queen, and he made a statement where he said he didn't want to be a footballer anymore. He just wants to look after her dogs. He said he wanted to take the dogs for walks, wash them, feed them. He wanted to be a dog carer. So of course he's kind of removing himself from the mindset that he had when he was in the Ivory Coast, and I think that he started to feel as if he was one of them. So of course, because when these men start to accrue a certain level of income and a certain celebrity stature, he attracted the main groupies that like to sit by the games and look at these men as easy targets, and he ended up attracting a woman named Aurelie. They got married on October 25th, 2004, and everything seemed to be going very smoothly for him. He's making millions. In 2011 to 2012, he made the move to Turkey, and this was for £3 million, and this is where his career started to tank. He didn't feel as welcomed as he did in England, where they really embraced him and appreciated his skill set. When he got to Turkey, they were hurling racial insults at him. They would throw objects at him when he was within 10 feet of the touchline, and the club did little to nothing about it. Unfortunately, in 2014, he was omitted from the main squad, and he had to train under Gallus under 21 side for the whole season before they let him go. So things just got completely worse from there, because he did have an agent named Sebastian Boiso, and he had some fees that he owed him during his transfer to Galatasaray team in Turkey, and this cost him £1 million. Now, because he did not satisfy the debt, the team decided to let him go, and he was fired from the team. Now, during this 1-year ban from football, because he was banned, he wasn't able to make any money. So at this point, he said himself that he was feeling suicidal. There were days where he didn't feel like getting out of bed, and he said his family kept him strong. He said it was them that he had to think about, but if he was alone, he would worry about what he would have done to himself by then. So not only did he have to deal with being banned from the sport for a year for an unpaid debt, but also he lost his grandfather and his brother in the same month, and it further made him fall into a depressive state. And not only that, but his wife also started to feel the changes within him, and he stated that his wife was supportive, but he's been very hard to live with because of all the emotions that he had, from losing his job to also losing close family members. So after the 2016 ban, he was trying to go back to play football for another Turkish team, but he had some some abnormal blood values. People thought that it was some sort of HIV virus, but he came out and dismissed those rumors that he did not have HIV. Now, at this point, his marriage was definitely tanking and she filed for a divorce. Emmanuel was devastated by this because during his career, while he was in Turkey, he ended up earning 8 million euros, and instead of him investing the money or having an accountant look over at it, he put his wife in charge of his finances. And when he had that 8 million euros, he sent back 7 million to his wife, and she was in charge of his investments and everything. And he said when she told him to sign, he signed. So unfortunately, due to his wife being in charge of his financial affairs and her also filing for a divorce, this forced him to become homeless. He was sleeping on friends' floors. He was court ordered to vacate his own home. However, he still chose to sleep in the home, and he was trying to keep the lights off, but he would be panicking about the bailiffs or the police being sent to arrest him for not vacating the home. And also, he lost custody of his 3 children who are in full care of his ex-wife, Aurelie.
Me, I'm in my house. Sometimes I shoot off the lights because for me, I don't want people to know that I'm inside. So I shoot off the lights. I put everything behind the door. So so it's like my own house. I suffer to buy my house, but because of that things, so now I'm scared. If I don't have a washing machine, I have to wash with my hands. I wash. I look at my hand. Is a hard. If I slap you, you're gonna die. Because every day I wash my jeans, my clothes, my pool, everything. Or one day I was home. I would take my shower. The water was cold. I called my sister. I said, sister, why in my house the water is cold? She tell me, check the gas and look, it was 0 pound. I'm not gonna send me out of my house. Yes, is my money. I took my own money to buy. I don't know how many me I suffer on the pitch to get my money to make my family happy. To have the house for my family. And then today, because of what? Because of the divorce, they're gonna take everything. So what about me? I will fight until the end, because that one is not fair what has happened to me. So I will fight until the end, because yes, I don't have cars. Okay, I use Ulster train, bus. So I have to hide in the bus or in the train because of people that recognize me. And then also the house I have talking about that is hurting me a lot, because of my children. They are the part of me, and then she knows that my children, I was close to my children, so I was ready to do everything for them. My 2 girls, they have a phone, they have a number, so we used to talk before. They used to call me before, so but now since 2 months, no contact. You see, we see my teeth are out there, but inside me, even when I was coming in the car with my sister, I was crying for that, because I said to her, I miss my children. I miss my children a lot. I want to see them because it's not fair.
In the beginning of this video, I was talking about a woman named Stephanie Boade. Now, at the time when he was playing in Ivory Coast, she and him were actually engaged, but when he moved, the engagement was broken off, and then he went on to marry Aurelie. After the divorce, he and Stephanie Boade reconciled, and now they are married. On March 2nd, they had a pretty quiet wedding, and they didn't want too many people knowing about it because of his horrific ordeal of him having this negative press in the media about his homelessness. I stated to you guys in the beginning, this is something that I wanted Black women to be careful of. I feel as though Black women have been accustomed to being the face of poverty, and this is something that Nick Cannon was attesting to, that white women are viewed as status symbols, and mainly because throughout society they have been prohibited for some Black men to have access to. Even in this situation, to where this white woman probably would have not dealt with him if he did not have the wealth that he had at the time. And so it's crazy to me that when he had the wealth, she was there with him, but the moment he lost his job, then all of a sudden she left. The Black fiance was there when he didn't have much money, and he went on to marry this white woman. However, the moment that he's back destitute again, he goes crawling right back to her, and now they get married. I'm not really understanding why Black women don't see this pattern. Unfortunately, we have developed a pattern of being the cleanup women. We build a sugar bear and we help these men out when they're struggling and when they don't have it, and I'm just not understanding why we don't try to understand that it's each each one teach one, where if you see another Black woman holding the example, it makes other Black women follow suit. But we have developed this pattern in which we only allow these men, especially some of our men, to show us favor or view us as valuable assets when they are at their lowest point. This man hasn't been playing a match since 2014, so pretty much he is unemployed. So again, you kind of have to look at these things and understand why we allow these men to come back to us when they cannot provide for us and when they are not in the financial position to do so. But you also have to look at it this way. If he did not get let go from that team, that white woman would probably still be married to him. But it wasn't until his finances started to go downhill was when she decided to take the kids, take the house, take the money and everything, and he just left all of his trust into her. But with Black women, we still hold a soft spot for these men, even when they do us wrong. And honestly, it will seem like I'm holding majority of us accountable because it does come back to us. It falls on us to hold ourselves accountable. When you do not set standards for men, they don't feel as though there is any standards for them to have to meet as men. So therefore, if they're down and out, guess who has to foot the bill? Guess who has to pay for the child support? Guess who has to provide the place to stay? I don't understand why some of us go into these situations knowing that we are going to enter into a situation where you have to be the one to fix this man up after Becky is the reason why he took all these L's. I mean, look at his situation. He's divorced, has 3 kids. I'm sure he might have to pay child support. He didn't have a place to stay. He's unemployed. How much more can a person take? And to know that this Black woman is accepting him with open arms, to me speaks about how low we view ourselves. If he had the millions, he would probably still be married to a really, but these women do not tolerate that. And that's something that I respect from them, is that they do not believe accepting the lowest of the low unless their looks are not up to par. But they do not believe in dating down. They are not going to apologize for that. And that is something that they are taught within their communities, that the only way that you really deal with these men is if they have money. And the moment that they lose their job, all that, I don't have it today, all of that, they don't hear none of that bull crap. They're packing their crap and they're gone. But with Black women, especially this woman, knowing how much he was suffering from the loss of his family, his grandfather and also his brother in the same month, knowing how much racial abuse that he was suffering, him losing his job, him owing $1 million to his agent, I feel like a Black woman would have stuck that out with him through thick or thin. But with these women though, these are business relationships for them. This was a smart investment move for her because she saw a man that hasn't had a taste of success and she was going to be able to use that to her benefit. This is why some Black people need to understand that these people don't get into these relationships oftentimes with us for love, especially if we do have some sort of wealth. They get into it because it is an easier way for them to build legacies for their own families. So in saying that, I think it's important for Black women to understand, if we do not raise the bar for our men and men like him, they will always come back to us when they don't have anything to provide. They will always have some sorry excuse for why they don't have this or why they don't have that. They will never strive to be better men for us because we're not requiring that out of them. When you don't deal with men like this, such as like the Matthew Knowles, where when he had the money, he was with a woman that he thought was white. He didn't know that she had Black ancestry in her, but he was with her when Beyonce was really making her money. But now that he hasn't been making as much because he is no longer Beyonce's manager, now he's married to a Black woman. So these are patterns that I definitely notice with Black women, that we always accept these men in whatever state that they are, but when they have the wealth, when they have the ability to pass on a legacy, not only for you, but for your children, it's like you don't really see them, they're gone. But the moment that they need a place to stay, they need for you to create provisions for them, then they come back to us, and we need to stop tolerating this from some of our men. And overall, I think that doing so will help other young Black women to realize that you need to have standards with these men. You can't just allow them to come into your life when they don't have much for you, but when it comes to non-Black women, they all of a sudden have this money that miraculously appears. But if you in any way feel as though you should be provided for, you're a gold digger. Yet these women are not ever viewed as gold diggers. They're just viewed as women who want a provider as a man, and it's nothing wrong with that. So please let me know what you guys feel about the wedding and the whole situation. Do you understand the point of view that I'm trying to convey, or do you feel like I'm reaching? You know how y'all love to say that. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!